They're going to be tariffed at a very, very high rate, like 200%. We'll give them a certain period of time to get their act together. But they were all here. Now they all left. They went to other places because we allowed people that sat in this room allowed it to happen. And I don't allow it to happen. The people in this room don't allow it to happen. So we're going to be announcing pharmaceuticals, chips, and various couple of other.
Imagine a trade war where a single social media post could wipe out a $4,800,000,000 0 cents industry, where a 50% tax on a vital metal threatens to sever the economic lifeline between two of the world's closest allies. This isn't a hypothetical scenario. This is the high-stakes reality unfolding right now between the United States and Canada. On July 9th, President Donald Trump announced a staggering 50% tariff on all copper imports, set to take effect on August 1st. Hello, Lettre. As a fast-growing community, bringing valuable information is very important to you. Please support us by liking and subscribing. Thank you. His stated goal is clear: to rebuild America's industrial base. In a social media post, he framed copper as the lifeblood of the future, essential for everything from electric vehicles to military hardware. But for Canada, this isn't just a policy shift. It's an economic earthquake. In 2023, Canada exported over $9 billion worth of copper. More than half of that, $4,800,000,000, 0 cents, went directly to the United States. That entire trade relationship is now teetering on the edge of a cliff. Canadian producers fear their products will become instantly uncompetitive, leading to lost contracts, layoffs, and, for some, a complete exit from the market. This move is the latest chapter in President Trump's aggressive 90 deals in 90 days campaign. On July 4th, he announced that letters with new tariff rates ranging from 10% to as high as 70% were being sent to countries around the world. The message was simple: sign a deal on our terms or face the consequences. While nations like the UK and Vietnam have already secured agreements, Canada finds itself in a tense and unusually quiet standoff. So why isn't Canada panicking? The answer lies in two different strategies clashing in real time. President Trump's strategy is loud and public. The announcements are made on social media, the targets are clear, and the deadlines are firm. He's using economic pressure as a primary tool of foreign policy. In contrast, Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney is playing a much quieter game. There have been no public condemnations, no retaliatory threats. Instead, Canada is engaged in intense behind-the-scenes negotiations. The Canadian Embassy in Washington, led by Chief Negotiator Kirsten Hillman, is working around the clock to secure an exemption, specific carve-out for Canadian copper, similar to deals achieved in the past for steel and aluminum. But the clock is ticking. The Trump administration has set a deadline of July 21st for a broader trade and security agreement to be finalized. That gives the Canadian team less than 2 weeks to navigate a minefield of demands before the devastating copper tariff hits on August 1st. The situation is complicated by past concessions. To even get back to the negotiating table, Prime Minister Carney's government had to repeal its digital services tax, a 3% levy on US tech giants. It was a calculated move, a quiet blink to keep the talks alive. However, there are lines Canada seems unwilling to cross. The next likely target for US pressure is Canada's dairy sector. The supply management system, which protects Canadian farmers with quotas and tariffs, has long been a point of contention for Trump. But for Canada, it's a pillar of economic sovereignty, and, so far, Carney has shown no willingness to put it on the table. This standoff carries immense mutual risk. Over 75% of Canada's automotive exports, valued at roughly 80 billion Canadian dollars annually, go to the US. American manufacturers, particularly in the Great Lakes region, are deeply reliant on Canadian parts and materials. A full-blown tariff war could shatter these integrated supply chains, raising prices for American consumers and causing political blowback in key US states. While Canada was not on the most recent list of countries receiving tariff letters, it is far from safe. It still operates under a 25% tariff on general goods and a punishing 50% rate on steel and aluminium. The economic pressure is already showing. Canadian exports to the US fell to their lowest levels since 2020 in May 2025, and job losses are rising in trade sectors. As the August 1st deadline approaches, the world watches. Will President Trump's high-pressure tactics force Canada to concede on core issues? Or will Prime Minister Carney's quiet, calculated strategy secure a deal that protects Canadian interests? This is more than a dispute over copper. It's a test of a G7 ally's resilience and a defining moment for North America's most vital trade alliance. In this trade war, while one side holds the microphone, the other holds the clock, and time is running out.